Okay, let's take a look at the game between Vincent and Hans. What do we have here? We have some kind of normal like Grunfeld King's Indian-ish position. No rest day. I mean, I stream. That's what I do. You're not Sluggish? No, but I mean hanging the bishop there. Like I didn't hear hanging the rook there. Jeez, I didn't even see that. Just ridiculous. I mean, there's no way to lose that either. Just amazing. Anyway, okay, so let's see. What do we have here? There's rook a8, probably knight b1, because if you go b4, there's knight b6, and the knight is jumping. So probably knight to b1. The Hans Nieman Piers Morgan video was hilarious. Yeah, it was pretty comical, to put it mildly. Pretty comical. So all right, let's see what we have here. So we of course have Magnus versus MVL much later on today, but we're gonna start with this match here. We got knight b1 here, played by Vincent. I think the idea is to play like knight c3 at some point. b4, probably you take like ab4, rook a2, bishop c3, rook c8, then you have rook d1 and bishop e1 and bishop f1, and white should be maybe a little bit better, but it's not super obvious. Will I play Arena Kings later? I might. I'm not sure yet. I don't know if I want to though, because frankly I'm playing such bad chess. Doesn't matter. Rapid, blitz, everything has been so bad that I'm not sure. Can I react to Death Note in stream? I don't know what Death Note is, so I don't know what you mean exactly. So rook a2, bishop c3 looks fine, so probably you just take, and like rook c2, rook c1. Oh, he goes rook a2, so now bishop c3, and then rook d1 and bishop e1. I think Vincent should be a little bit better here after bishop c3. Yeah, like bishop c3, rook d1 and bishop f1 seems fine. I mean, I could play Arena Kings, but I've kind of stopped playing it. There's too much sniping, too much cheating in general, that is like nothing is really monitored in Arena Kings, so I don't really see the point of playing in the event. So probably we'll get bishop c3 and rook d1 played here. That's my guess. See if there's anybody else online to play who's high rated, but everyone's playing the tour, so I should probably just cover it. Bishop c3 played, idea rook d1, bishop e1, maybe b5. This is a 2-game match, by the way, in this this losers bracket of the Chess Champions Tour. Yeah, we're gonna get rook d1 and then rook d1 and then maybe bishop f1 or bishop e1, some combo with rook d1 and the bishop moves. It's a cheater from yesterday banned. I have no idea. Do we get? I expect rook d1 and bishop e1, although there's still rook b2 to hit the pawn on b3 at the end, so not so simple, but this has to be played. This rook d1, bishop f1, bishop e1 idea seems pretty obvious to me. Yeah, we get rook d1 as expected. Probably bishop f1 and bishop b5 somewhere in here. Although there are ideas like h5, so after h4, knight g4, suddenly your pawns are very weak, and if you go bishop f1, there might be knight h7, knight g5, but we get knight f8 instead. Idea to play knight e6, knight g5, knight f3. Still feels a little bit better for white, but I'm not sure how you prove it. The tour is finished. Well, the grand finals happening in Toronto at the start of December, so I will be playing in that. But in terms of this specific event, the 6th and final one, yes, this event is over for me. Is Kick the new streaming platform? Indeed it is, you guys. We're here streaming chess as always, and having a good time, so hope you guys are doing well. Rook d2 is what the computer wants, but that's probably just a draw. Problem is, if you go bishop e1, there's takes on rook b2, and your pawns are very weak on b3 and b2, so probably you can't go bishop e1 here. But that really only leaves rook d2, and the game should be a draw. The AI Cup, the winners bracket is still probably a couple hours off between Magnus Carlsen and Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. So that's a couple hours off, or probably like 2.5 hours off. We have this match, and then we have the losers bracket in Division 1 that we'll cover between I think it's Ali Reza versus it's probably Ali Reza versus Shakrar and Anish versus Lazovic, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly how it goes. I am playing the Qatar Masters. H4, interesting move. So basically idea is knight g4, now you have bishop h3, and if h5, maybe bishop h3 anyway, but knight g4. Interesting move from Vincent. Well, I participate in the Rapid and Blitz tournament in December. There have been no details released on the Rapid and Blitz. I don't know where it's happening. I've heard rumors of Dubai, I think Uzbekistan, or was it Kazakhstan? I get those two confused, but I've heard rumors of Dubai and I think Samarkand was the other city I'd heard rumors of. But again, I don't know. I don't know. So at any rate, it is what it is. I'm talking about the World Rapid and Blitz. The Toronto event, I don't know if it will be open to the public for everybody who's just tuning in. It will be December 7th. Actually, I'll go back to show you guys what I'm referring to. So if you look at this not schedule, you look at info, you'll see that let me scroll down. At the end, there will be now I'm looking for the it doesn't look like they list it. Tour final. It doesn't. Where does tour final? Yeah, it actually, they don't even have it listed. They don't have the final event even listed yet, but it will be in person in Toronto, I believe December 7th to like December 17th or something like that. So whatever. Anyway, wait, wrong game. Here we go. It will not be, I believe it will not be over the board. I believe it will be in Toronto playing on computers, if I'm not mistaken. So I think we'll be in Toronto playing on computers, and that's that pretty much. So we'll see what happens with that event. I'm obviously playing with the World Rapid and Blitz. Who knows when it's going to be announced and when it's going to, what's going to happen with it. But I've heard many rumors, and I don't know what reality is, honestly. So yeah, that's the gist of it for anybody who's wondering. That's the gist. I really have no idea what's going on. Why don't you make creative videos like before? I don't know what you mean by creative videos like before. And I feel like there are a lot of trolls actually today. FIDE not stressing about venues or dates as per usual. I mean, they'll pull it together at the last minute as always. I think what I would say about the World Rapid and Blitz is I think there's by the way, we have the flying V formation here. I just noticed. I would say it's pretty unlikely that I'll play unless it's in Dubai. If it's anywhere in the stands like Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, or somewhere very off the beaten path, I think that it's very likely that I'll just skip it. So yeah, that's what I would say. MVL and Magus play a little bit later on. Yes, they do play. Yeah, I see the king and queen versus king and rook. We were covering it here on my channel yesterday, so of course I saw it. They're probably bishop e1 here because now there's knight c3 to hit the pawn. Like bishop e1 takes here. There might be knight c3 to hit the pawn on d5. So yeah, probably bishop e1. I think bishop e1 has to be played to guard the base of the chain. If you don't guard the ace of the base, it's no good. Alireza plays Nepo. Okay, that's the other match. All right, yeah. Goes rook d2. Interesting. I would have played bishop e1. Interesting. But now it's going to be a draw. Bishop d2, bishop a3. I mean, you have to be careful because bishop e1 is hitting the base of the chain again. It's a very serious threat with bishop e1. Would I won rook versus queen? I think I would have won, but to be fair to Nepo, I mean, considering the way the game was fluctuating so much up and down, it's not surprising that he had issues. I just left you on Twitch like 20 minutes ago. Yeah, we were on Twitch and we're now on Kick. Usually that's what I do for the most part. I stream for like 45 minutes to an hour, and then I move over from Twitch to Kick. Probably knight c1, knight c3. What do I think about the Hans attacking the Bota sisters and all that jazz? I'll tell you guys, the simple reality is this. Hans is trying to farm clout. He's trying very hard to start drama. He doesn't really understand how clicks and views work, and so he's trying to start all this massive drama on purpose to try and get more popularity. And at some point I think people have to realize that's his only goal from it. He's basically doing it on purpose. There's nothing more to it, and the sooner that people stop paying attention to it, the better off everyone will be for it. So yeah. Also, you know what else is, there's so many people in chess who are new that they aren't even aware that Hans is somebody who loved poker back in the day. He loved poker. If you go back a couple of years, Hans was somebody who loved playing poker. So it's kind of also funny that he's talking about something and just pretending that people don't remember that that he himself loves poker. So it's just kind of, yeah, it's on purpose, and the sooner people realize that he's doing it on purpose to try and become famous, and we ignore all of his nonsense, the better off things will be. So let's see. There's bishop e2 or knight c3. Also, you know what else is really funny? I'll be honest, is that when it comes to like Botez or myself specifically, since we are primarily viewed as streamers more than more than like YouTubers. If you stream on Twitch or Kick for that matter, you have no idea what your audience actually is. So when you talk about saying your audience is a lot of kids, Botas, they don't know what their audience is. Like, I don't know what my audience is on Twitch because the metrics are not shared. You have no idea what the audience actually is. So it's just like there's this assumption that that's what the audience is, but no one actually knows what the audience is. On YouTube, I believe on YouTube there is a bit of a breakdown for videos. That I do believe is correct. Like, if I go to my YouTube, I mean, I know male to female, I think I know the age ranges as well, but like very specific to live streaming as it relates to Twitch, you have no idea what your audience is. They do not release that information. Let me see if I can find that audience. Yeah, let me see. Does it say anything? I'm looking for an age breakdown. I see female, male. Yeah, so like I do see a breakdown. Actually, I'll tell you my breakdown right now because I don't think this isn't really like any kind of like privileged information per se, but like my age range, I'll tell you guys from actually this is hilarious. Since based on what Han said yesterday, actually it's really funny because the number of people who watch my YouTube videos from between the age of 13 to 17 is 5.5%. So when it comes to underage or whatever the phrase is, 5.5% of my audience is below 18. 42.2% is between 18 and 24. 31.3% is between 25 and 34. 11.9 is between 35 and 44, and it goes up. So it's actually really funny, you guys. It's really funny when you look at those stats. So basically, Han's whole thing, you're promoting gambling to kids. Like probably 85, like 95% of my audience is 18 or older. 95% of my audience on YouTube is over the age of 18. That's great. That's great, actually. So it actually already invalidates the whole argument of what he's trying to say. Yeah. So anyway, back to the game. Vincent's trying to run with the king here. I'm 11. Let's go. Awesome. So in your case, not in Botas' case, I suspect their audience is pretty similar, by the way, on YouTube. And their biggest platform is on Twitch. And so on Twitch, you don't know your metrics. Like, I have no idea what my metrics are on Twitch. Like, I have no idea what the average age of my audience is. I have no idea where they're watching from. Those are metrics that are not shared. Those are metrics that are not shared by Twitch. So yeah, there's no way of actually knowing. So when you say that, you don't know that. You have no idea. Okay, so we get G4. So it looks like Vincent's trying to push P on the king side, but even though he's got a great bastion with the chain of 3 here, it looks like Han should be able to draw this with like knight c6, h5 takes 6, and f6, and the knight stops any entries. D's knight stop the entries here on the queen side, and you can go after the pawn, but even this, you just wait and you just keep coming back. So it should be a draw pretty soon. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, bishop e2's move, bishop g4's move, etc. Do you tailor to your demographic? No, I just do my content. That's what I do. So yeah, pretty simple and straightforward. But at the end of the day, the sooner that people stop taking his stuff seriously and realize that he's doing it on purpose, and we stop giving him relevance, the better off the world will be. That's the bottom line. So we get knight a5, probably bishop d1, maybe king c2 here, maybe bishop e2, maybe king c3 at some point. This is going to be a draw. Knight b5, knight c7, also just very simple. So let's see. There's also f3 here. Okay, we're gonna get a repetition. Knight b5, and we'll get the repetition here. Yeah. Game ends in a draw, so we're gonna play the second game in 10 minutes. Let's see what else we have. We have there are many games. We have Fabiano versus Ivan Saric. Fabiano a little bit of trouble because the knight might be jumping here with this classic connect 4. Maybe a little bit dangerous here for Fabiano in game 1. So let's see what we get. At any rate, yeah, the bottom line is the sooner people stop taking it seriously and realizing that it's on purpose to try and farm clout because his chess career is floundering, the better off everyone will be. That's the bottom line. Knight g5 and queen f5, maybe knight here, queen h5, queen f5 with knight f3 and some bastions. Looks pretty dangerous. Fabiano does have a spot in Toronto, I believe. Yes, he does. So let's see what we get. I assume knight g5, there's bishop f4 too, actually. Still a little bit tricky. Oh, you can sack the queen and under promote to a horsey. You under promote to a horsey. That is beautiful. Knight g5 bishop f4. That's a beautiful tactic. Knight g5 bishop f4 takes queen h3, and you under promote. You fork the king and the queen. Wow, this is beautiful. This is beautiful from Ivan Sarich. Here takes and sack the queen. Beautiful. Takes and queen h3 is beautiful. That is a beautiful tactic. Is Dennis good at classical? Dennis who? Dennis what? He misses it. He plays queen f5, and now Fabiano's gonna have chances to win. Fabiano should win. Takes in here, and there's no repetition because the queen blocks. Now you lose. Now you're just down a pawn for nothing. Oh, that's very sad. That's very sad that he missed queen h3. Very, very sad. But he is low on time, I guess. Will Magnus be in the Grand Swiss? No, I don't believe Magnus is playing the Grand Swiss unless I'm mistaken. So let's see what we get here from Fabiano. I assume he'll just trade and take with the king and win the game. Most likely. Fabiano seems like such a good guy. I mean, on some things yes, on some things no. He's it's funny, we're talking about someone who Fabiano has very strong opinions about. Let's leave it at that. Much of our conversation this morning has been covering another game and a player, and even if maybe outwardly certain things haven't been said, someone has probably much stronger feelings about Hans than I do. So all right, so we get takes and king h3 as expected. We get check, king g3, and probably f5, but still I assume maybe not so easy here. Let's see what we get. Maybe f4, but queen h1. The king's kind of stuck actually. Let's see what we get here. I'm not so sure this is actually winning anymore. Wait, f4, is this not a wait, this might be losing for this might get dangerous now after f4. f4 is a nice move. Let's see if we can find f4. Check, king h2, of course. Check, king g1, of course. I assume Fabiano will win. I assume Fabiano is probably going to win here, but this is going to go on for a while. Queen d2 is apparently the best move, but Sarich is in trouble because I think eventually Fabiano walks the queen to the h file. Turn the music up. Music is fine. How many turns is Fabi playing? Well, the thing is, everybody's playing too much chess. That's the problem. I mean, everyone's playing so much chess. That's the thing. Rubbish, no one's more toxic. Okay, you know what, dude? You want to get banned? I'll ban you in a second. But let's just say there was a certain player who in St. Louis during the last event I was playing in nonstop was talking about one of Hans's games from the Reykjavik Open against Grederson and this move rook h5 over and over every single time that I saw them. So just shut the fridge up before I get really annoyed. You don't know what you're talking about. You get g3, probably king g6 and king g5 will be played here. Seriously, like you have no idea what you're talking about, and you literally think you're some genius. No idea what you're talking about. King g5 or king g7 is playable here. Actually, yeah, I mean, seriously. Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, dude. Literally have no idea what you're talking about. We get queen h1. Yeah. Queen h4, king g6, queen f4. I still expect Fabiano to win. I mean, this looks winning. Apparently it's not after queen d1, but it looks winning. Yeah. Just because someone says certain things publicly about Hans doesn't mean they've said the exact opposite privately. So let's see what Fabiano plays here. If there's either queen h4, queen f4, or queen h7 here. Okay, so probably queen d1 or queen h5 will be played. Yeah. Yeah, queen d1 or queen h5 are playable. Yeah, for all the people who want to be really annoying about this and act like this, like people kind of like, if people wonder why I find this very annoying, it's because there are a lot of people who are saying things. When people go back to the events of what happened all the way in September, what I said was based primarily on what a lot of other top players were saying to me privately, and then publicly they either suddenly went quiet and said nothing, or they tried to hedge their bets and play the other side of the fence despite what they had said privately. So that's the bottom line. And those people, by the way, did not get sued, just to be very, very clear on this. So if people wonder why I get annoyed by this, that's the reason I get annoyed by it. So let's see what let's see what Fabian will play here. He can trade the queens or go like king f1 or play queen d6. You're implying more than Fabi would like you to, I guess. Well, what do you want me to say? Fabi didn't get sued. Anyway, let's see what Fabiano is going to play here. He can trade the queens. He can go queen d6. He can also move the king, and we'll see what happens. But this apparently should be a draw here. This should be a draw pretty soon. Do I feel burnt out or demotivated now while streaming, or is it just in tournaments? I would say in general, like I still feel, I mean, I think that actually the bottom line is I think the bottom line is that when I look at the overall situation, I'm actually trending back towards where I enjoy not classical chess, but I enjoy over the board chess more than I enjoy the online events. That's the bottom line. Now this is a draw with perfect play, but Fabiano has more time than his opponent. So good thing you're playing over the board. I like over the board more than online. That's the bottom line. I just like it more than online at the moment. No specific reason I would say necessarily, but I'm not enjoying online chess. Maybe it's because I played too much online chess. Like I've literally been playing nonstop for the last 3 years, but that's the bottom line. How come the queen trade is a draw? Because there's no entry. Like if you get this position, you can't get through, and essentially what happens is you get some position like this where both sides end up with kings on the queen side, and it's just a draw. You can never enter here, and you can never push the extra pawn that you have because it's blocked here. So that's why it's a draw. Yeah. If people ignore cheating with fear of lawsuits, it will ruin the game. Okay, queen g4 is a move. Queen h5 and king g6 is still a draw, by the way. You gotta go queen h5 and king g6. You gotta move, dude. Like queen g4, queen g4. Maybe there's f3 now, which there's ef3, queen f3. Apparently trading is a draw, but there's no way you trade the queens here because it looks losing. Yeah, there's no way you trade the queens because it looks losing. Queen g4, only move. You gotta go. Takes? No. And now he's gonna lose. He doesn't go into the end game. This is actually a draw with a 3v2. I think it was a draw. This is an interesting end game. Takes here. You go here, takes here, e4, takes here. This is actually winning. I think this is a draw. Yeah, this is actually a draw. This 2 versus 1. This is a forced draw. Fabiano wins on time apparently because Serge flags. Yeah, this is actually a draw. This king and pawn endgame is a forced draw here. Yeah, it's hard to calculate with limited time, but you have to go for it because otherwise you automatically lose the game no matter what. That's the bottom line. But let's see, round 2. Oh, I guess they're not staggering. Wait, I guess they're not staggering the, I guess they don't wait for the games to finish in division 2. They just start automatically. So all right, what do we have? We have Vincent, Keymer, Hans with a white piece against Vincent. We get the this Caro Khan line, f5. I mean, I've played this endgame against Magnus a few times. It has not worked out very well from the white side. So yeah, let's see what we get here. Stop saying that's the bottom line. Okay, yeah. When is the bully playing? Yes, the bully. He's playing in about, I think, hour and a half or so, maybe a little bit longer depending on how long the first match goes. I mean, this is a new line that a lot of people played. I played it against Magnus. I was able to draw the game. Vishy played it against Magnus and lost the game. I mean, the computers give white an advantage in this queenless middle game, but in practical play, I've never really felt like it's easy to prove anything. So I mean, I know that people try it with white, but I think it's just doesn't quite work. I mean, it doesn't work as wrong, but we're not 3,500, so we don't know how to prove the advantage. And already Vincent's in great shape to win this game here. Great shape to win. Great shape to win the game. Why is Magnus playing his HS only against you but blunders against everyone else? Well, he didn't play his HS against me in our match, even though the score makes it look like it was very one-sided. He actually made some serious blunders, and I should have won the second game. So I should have won the second game, and he didn't play his A game, but I think ultimately he has more respect for me, and I think the fact that he takes me more seriously, that's probably why he generally plays better against me. Yeah. So we got rook a4. Okay, I think Vince is going to do the double stack, like rook d7, f4, g5, and you've got this big problem with your king in the center of the board, and you're really in serious trouble. This looks really bad. Rook d7, rook d8, and g5, and I think Hans is very likely going to lose here. Yeah. The one thing that I thought was very weird, actually, speaking about Magnus, I thought it was very strange that when I played him in this event, and we both did not play great chess, I thought it was weird that because he won the score by a score of 2.5, he suddenly started hamming it up, saying that it was like that it was acting as though he played a great match, and yet the two matches that were actually very close, the two matches are very close. He was much more respectful, and like he was honest about the play from both of us in those matches, and I thought it was kind of weird, actually, that suddenly in a match that he knows he didn't play his best, obviously I played way below my level, he suddenly started hamming it up. Whereas in the matches that were very close, whether he won by 1 the other day or when I won by 1 in the BCC, he was very objective and honest. But in the match where we both didn't play well, but he won by the big score, he wasn't sort of objective at all. And I thought it was kind of interesting to note that. So we are missing Norway chess performance. Hope you come back stronger. Well, I've only played 1 tournament since Norway chess. We're gonna get g5 here from Vincent for sure. I think Vincent very likely is gonna win after g5. This looks very bad. Typical bully behavior. Yes, bully behavior, right? I mean, maybe it's just mind games before the match in November, but nonetheless, it's just kind of a little bit weird. So we get rook h8 played here. If king e2, there's still knight d4 and then g5. I mean, what else can white do here? Maybe like rook f1, g5 is still bad. Don't see any other great ideas here. So king e2 runs into knight d4, and that looks pretty bad as well. But let's see what we get in this position. Anyway, okay, wait a second. So king e2, there's just knight d4, king d1, knight f3, and black's better. I don't really know what else white can do because g5 is a huge threat as well. Huge threat as well. So let's see what we get from Hans. I mean, rook e2, I think there's just g5, king e2, knight d4. Apparently you can sack the tower and it's not so bad. Oh, maybe if not knight b3 and maybe knight b3, knight c5 or something like this. But knight b3 is still rook c4 and I don't see it. Computer wants knight f3, and apparently after bishop e3, black is only slightly better, which seems kind of odd, but we'll see. We get knight b3 as expected. I mean, rook b4, rook c4 will be played. Rook b4 actually looks like the right move because now knight e2, there's rook e4 check. I have knight c5 and rook c4. I mean, Vincent is better, but the trend is going to where the moves are not easy for either side here. Not easy at all. Not easy at all. So anyway, waiting for a move here from Vincent. I mean, rook b4, rook c4, both moves are playable. Are you finally meeting and playing on Bouvet Island? Whatever. What are the chances that Moke will have a better career than you? Fairly unlikely. His rating is deep in the dumps these days. It's like 2660. I mean, he might still come back and win the World Junior. It's not out of this. It's not out of the realm of possibility. 92. Maybe he wants rook b4, but b3, bishop a3 looks a little bit scary here. I'm not vibing it here. Advice on the stock market. I don't have advice on the stock market ever, but I think generally what I would say is that I've not been buying anything for a while now. I've been sitting in cash. I mean, I'm able to get 5.5% just sitting in cash, and I'm really not doing anything much right now. I think I think everyone's very seriously underestimating the danger of long-term inflation and higher rates. I think everyone's assuming rates are going to stay low. I don't think rates are staying low. I don't think rates are staying low. That's what I would say. I think everyone's assuming that they're going to be cutting soon, and I don't think they're cutting anytime soon. Now Vincent has made a hash out of this. Even though computer loves it, this is a position where it's very easy to lose control. I mean, if you look at the mortgage rate specifically, I saw the stock guy. I don't know where he got this figure from because I didn't see it this morning, but I saw the stock guy said that the average mortgage rate is 7.78%, which historically, as we know, is still low objectively. G5, great move from Vincent. Like 7.78. I know that's low historically. Those of you guys who are watching my channel who started buying your houses and having families in like the 1970s and the 1980s are well aware that the rates used to be north of like 10%. It was like 15 to 18%, I think, at the height of the late 70s under GMHikaru, who, by the way, I think is celebrating his 99th birthday sometime in the next week or so, so God bless him. But at the end of the day, people are not used to those rates in the modern world, and I think that people are assuming everything's going to be coming back down, and I don't think they are. Yeah. So how old am I? I'm so old that I remember back in the late 1970s when GMHikaru was the president. So all right. Anyway, let's see what we get here from Hans. King F3, apparently the best move. Not an easy move, but both players have a lot of time here, so anything can happen. But yeah, the bottom line for anyone who's wondering is I'm not buying. I'm not buying. I mean, maybe if I really was going to buy it, I might buy Amazon. Like Amazon was at I feel like Amazon was 145 like yesterday practically. I mean, it wasn't Amazon Amazon was 145 13 days ago, and now it's 124. Like that looks like that's a pretty serious dip from 145 to 125 in 2 weeks. That's a serious dip. So anyway, let's see what we get here. Let's see what will be played. The only thing that I'm actually very bullish on is like energy and oil. I'm very bullish on. Let's see. So Hans is deep in the tank. King F3 is playable. Knight D2 maybe. Bishop A7. Bishop takes E5 and maybe Knight D2. I mean, this is looking but there's Bishop C3 even. This is looking very bad. Yeah, Vincent's knight is dominated here. But if he finds a couple of more good moves, I think he's going to win this game pretty cleanly. But yes, I'm definitely not buying right now. I'm not buying. I'm pretty pessimistic. When you can get better than 5% just sitting on cash with zero risk, it's very hard to be optimistic. Hikaru, born in the late 70s, makes him almost 50 and he looks late 20s. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, appreciate it. Opinion on the current economic state. I mean, I think things are bad for most people. I don't think the world's in great shape. I mean, you have inflation, everything's so expensive, the wages aren't great. I mean, I think most people are doing worse off now than they were, like, you know, probably 10-15 years ago even. It's pretty bad, I think, for most people these days. Yeah, bishop takes E5. Am I selling? I'm just sitting on what I own. I'm not really selling stuff. RH gold is 4.9. Yeah, I didn't look. I saw at the Bank of the Ozarks. I think I saw some CDs that were yielding 5.5. But of course, anytime I think of Bank of the Ozarks, I automatically think of Marty Bird and what's the show's name? I can't remember the name. What's the name of the show? My brain is killing me. Oh, it's Ozarks, right? It's just Ozarks. Or Ozarks, yeah. But yeah, anyway, yeah. So okay, so bishop takes E5, bishop E6 has been played. Yeah, I think bishop C3 and rook E4, you trade the rooks and it's GG. Although there is bishop E3 to hold, kind of. But I think Hans is in real trouble now because eventually the knight's getting back, and once the knight gets like E6, yeah, I think Hans is about to be eliminated from the event. There's rook E4 and then like rook D5. I don't really day trade anymore, you guys. It's too much time and it's not worth the effort. And I stream and do everything else. Yeah, bishop E3 and I think knight G7, knight E6 or rook D5, some combination with the knight getting back into the game. And Hans is really bad pawns as well. Like, he's got 2 sets of double stacks and he's down a tower for a bishop. So I think Hans is in real trouble of losing this game. I think Hans will lose this game if rook D5 is played. If rook D5 followed by knight G7 and knight E6 happens, I don't really see how Hans survives here, just because his pawn structure is so bad. Like, rook D5 also has rook E5 in mind with a double stack. If Hans plays, or not Hans, if Vincent plays rook D5, I'm pretty sure that Hans will win. Or Hans will win? No, Vincent will win. Did I say Hans will win? Vincent will win. Yeah. Sorry, I said Hans will win. I meant Vincent will win. Yeah. Yeah. Hans won a nice match yesterday against, I think, Altai Safarli from Azerbaijan. So I think Rook D5 will be played by Vincent, and I think once he plays Rook D5 he wins. If he doesn't play Rook D5, Hans has chances still, but if Rook D5 is on the board, I think it's just GG, why not? I think it's just GG, why not? If Rook D5 is on the board, it's that simple. So his match yesterday was nice. Why do you say Hans playing bad? His rating is 2662. I mean, he was also lucky in the World Junior. Like, he was in real danger at the end of his game yesterday against a 2490. Like, he probably was, I wouldn't say losing, but his opponent had a significant advantage. Can I go back to live game? Rook D5 is played. Yeah, actually, I hate how when you make a move on the board, it stops it, you lose the live, you lose the live position. He was in real danger yesterday in the World Junior against a 2492. The kid took a draw, but he was much better at the end of the game. We get King F3. Yeah, so Vincent should win this game. I think Knight G7 looks good. Maybe Rook E5 looks good. E5 probably is too much, but I would guess Knight G7 or Rook E5 are both good. Stop LMAO. Stop what? I don't mean stop. Oh, stop. I would just refresh the board. Yeah. I'm totally unbiased. I'm talking, the fact is his rating is 2662. His peak rating was 2708 if I'm not mistaken. That is 46 points lower rated than his current rating. How is that being biased? That's just a pure fact. I know facts don't matter in the modern world, but nonetheless, that's one of the great things about chess is like it's just straight there. The stats are the stats. I mean, it's just that simple. Like, you can't argue with stats. Like, you want to argue with stats, like, apparently E5 is a mistake, but I actually really like E5. Apparently Rook A1 and A6, and Hans still has chances, but Rook A1 Rook C4 also just looks terrible. Why is this actually oh, maybe it's because you get in behind and you go after the horsey. No, I don't understand. I don't understand why the computer thought Rook A1 is playable. It doesn't make any sense. So let's see. Excited. Yeah, I think this is just winning because there's F4, Knight G7, Knight E6. I think Vincent is going to win this game. Maybe C4, but then Rook D7, and now you'd love to go here and take the pawn, but then you hang the knight. So you get Knight B3 instead. And I think F4, Knight G7, Knight E6 both are good. If Vincent reroutes the horse, I don't really see how Hans saves this game. Although maybe there's still H4. Maybe H4 gives you some small chances still. So let's see. Knight G7, Knight E6 incoming. By the way, the Division 1 will be starting pretty soon, so we will be covering that. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Peg Leg if that's your opinion. There's nothing wrong with having that opinion. Everyone has their own opinion, and I don't think anyone's opinion is going to change. I don't think the opinion of the top players changed, by the way, either, just to be clear. So we have H4, probably Rook C4 will be played by Vincent, followed by Knight H5. Yeah, Rook C4 or Knight E6 also very, very good here. Yeah, Bishop B6 played here. Okay, E4, F4, Rook C4. Many ways here, I think, for Black to win. I think for Vincent, it's more about just staying focused and finishing the game off here. That's the bottom line. Oh man, chess becoming unplayable even on my low 1700 level arenas are full of cheaters. Everyone has learned how to cheat smartly. Catching a cheater is almost impossible. I mean, I don't know. You'd have to ask chess.com about that. I have no idea. I think F4 wins. Takes, and then Knight G7 with 2 jumps. Okay, King D7. Oh, beautiful move from Vincent. Beautiful move. He's just quietly bringing the king to the center. He doesn't even need to improve the position because the rook is perfectly placed on c4, rook on d5, placed, knight e6, everything is placed perfectly. So Vincent is going to slowly bring his pieces in, like bring the king here, maybe go f4, e4, but he's going to just chill, have his morning coffee, and just relax. So let's see what we get here. We get king e2 from Hans again. I think f4 is probably just winning. F4 probably not e4 because that gives a grip somewhere in the center, but I think after f4 this should be winning again. Do you find it easier to spot miss moves over the board or online? I think actually online it's much easier to miss moves than over the board, and I think primarily that's because when I play online, especially like in the Chess Champions Tour, we're playing rapid chess, not like we're playing rapid chess, and after you spent, I mean, everybody's played lots of online blitz, make no mistake. Like I've played a lot of blitz, Nepo's played a lot of blitz, we all grew up playing blitz online. So when you start having to play rapid where if you do actual calculating, it becomes very strange, I guess is the way of putting it. Do you have Down syndrome? Thank you, Mist. Thank you for the troll. No, I don't, but for anybody who has it, of course, it is a serious thing. And actually jokes aside, I do have a half sibling in Japan that does I believe she does have Down syndrome, so it's not actually funny. It's not actually funny at all. Okay. Yeah. So all right, thank you so much to Darks for the host of 17. Thank you so much to Darks. Yeah, do you guys actually know what Down syndrome is? Like seriously, like anyway, probably I don't know, actually I really don't like rook g4 from because f4 there's some kind of knight e4 bunk. I really don't like rook g4 from Vincent. Really don't like this move. Hans has some outside chances to still survive in this game because c4 is a big threat now, hitting the rook. I'm starting to think Vincent might choke this away and not win. If he doesn't find a couple of really good moves here, I think Vincent's gonna find a way to draw this and not win. Rook g4 was such a bad move by Vincent. There was literally no need for it at all. Rook a4 was winning f4, e4, like pretty much any move except rook g4, and I think it was an easy win. Now the c4 move is a serious issue. Like rook a4, c4, and suddenly after rook d6, rook e5, I mean, Hans is very much back in the game. Very much back in the game. I think the point of rook g4 is he thought he could go f4 and he just missed knight e4 takes and knight f6 with knight g4. That's the bot. I think he just thought he was going to exchange all the pawns on the king side. Since Hikaru lost the AI Cup, haters out of the cages? I mean, hardly. No, I mean, my play was not very good at the end of the day. My play was very bad, and as I said, I mean, hopefully I can rectify the situation in Isle of Man and Qatar Masters, but we'll see. We get king e7, now c4. I mean, this is getting very dangerous suddenly for Vincent. I mean, I guess his idea is to go here in rook g3 with rook g2, but this is very tricky suddenly. This is very tricky after c4. Very tricky. Hans has a legitimate chance to survive this now. Legit chances after c4. And this is another example, by the way, not so much relating to Hans, but why Magnus is so incredibly good. Because like you see these players, you see these juniors, and we're always talking about who's gonna be the next junior to break through. And when you look at like Vincent, he's a very strong junior, but even in this game where he's completely winning, he's made a couple of bad moves. And you know, if he were playing Magnus here, Magnus would play c4, and I think there's a good chance Magnus might even win this game with white here. And so it's one of those things where like you look at the juniors and you see some of the sloppiness at times. That's where I'm not really sure if they're here yet. They're here for good. Like c4, I mean, why is this actually not great for white? Takes knight e4, rook g2. I mean, I guess it's still probably winning, but it's really spicy here, really spicy. I was asking if you're on the spectrum because you're really good at chess. By the way, I'm gonna say this too. You know what else I love about this is like there are these myths about chess which have persisted for probably the last 50 years, if not longer, probably much longer than that as far as being smart. But everyone assumes like, what? Wait a second, what is this? Wait, this is a blunder. Wait. Oh, 'cause there's BC. He misses. He plays rook e4. I mean, it's still very, very messy though. Like rook d6. This is very, very messy. I mean, this is so messy. It's what I said. Vincent is trying to mess this up. Vincent is trying very hard to mess this up. I think he's gonna mess this up actually. Yeah, rook g4 was such a bad move. Unbelievably bad move from Vincent. Yeah, I think there's a good chance Han survives now. I think there's a very good chance he survives, because knight f3 and knight e5 is not hard to spot at all. And now you hit the rook with a tempo too. Like, that's why I thought rook d6 was better, although I guess Vincent was probably worried about some bishop c5 trick. That's why he put the rook on d7, not d6. Knight f1 is a big mistake though. Whoa, Hans does not play knight f3. I guess his idea is to go king f3 and go after the rook. I mean, this is so hard to play for both sides. If Vincent finds king f7, he'll win the game, just because king f3 rook g5 wins, and he does find it. Yeah, king f3 rook g5. Oh, Hans misses a basic tactic, and now it's over. Now it's over. Now the rook is loose, or the juice is loose, and now Hans loses the game, basically with no chances. Even like rook f5, rook f4, it's gone, all gone. Now it's just all gone for Hans after rook f5. Not even close. Oh yeah, so the myth about chess is that all chess players are geniuses, like all this babble wabble, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Hans just loses because all the pawns are loose. No, everything's just loose here, so it's just over. Rook c4, rook h4, doesn't matter. It's all GG. Yeah, rook c4 and rook h, I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But there's definitely this impression that chess players are like these massive like geniuses and whatever else. It's total rubbish. We're just very good at a very specific type of genius, which is pattern recognition. That's it. That's all it is. No, this is the second game, so Vincent's gonna move on. Knight f4, knight d4. I mean, probably Vincent should try to get rid of the knight here, trade off a piece, and then win with the 2 towers. But yeah, that myth has been around probably for the last, I would say, maybe more than 50 years, maybe more like the last like 200 years. But yeah, I recall a game from 15 years ago. Yes, but that's pattern recognition and memory specifically. It's like a specific type of brilliance, but that doesn't mean I'm not like Albert Einstein. Everyone acts like chess players are Albert Einstein. Basically, we're not Albert Einstein. There are some who are very good, by the way, at math and science, but in general, we're not like that. Like, let's be honest. No, it's the biggest, it's probably the biggest myth I've ever seen. That's where you need Mythbusters on the case. Mythbusters out to prove that we're not geniuses. So we are not geniuses. And also with engines, we're even less geniuses, because we just hit that. All you do is hit the space bar. You open the chess software, hit space bar every time you're studying, and the computer puts the best move on the board. Space bar, space bar, space bar. If that's what constitutes genius, then this world is going down the tubes. Yeah, if me hitting the space bar makes me a genius, then, well, yeah, I don't know what you want me to say. This myth is good to sell chess. Yeah, it's the reason chess, it's like one of the biggest reasons a lot of parents have their kids playing chess or taking lessons, because like chess is one of those things that's viewed as like very intellectual. You got to be very smart to do it. Well, I'm here to bust that myth. It's just not true. It's the biggest load of codswallop that I've ever heard. Just rook f7 or rook a3. I mean, all roads lead to Berlin. Rook g2 and knight f4, easy. Knight e2 and h5. Yeah, Vincent wins the game. Yeah, hitting the spacebar is so smart. Yeah. Yeah, literally when you use a chess software, which is chess-based, to study games of chess, you're literally hitting spacebar so that it plays the move. Like if I could hit spacebar and have king e5 played, that's what you're doing in the chess software. So even Magnus said he's not a genius, because we're not geniuses. We're very good at chess, but we're not geniuses. So okay, so Fabiano won his match. Vincent defeats Hans Nieman. The dude lost in game 1 to Yuri Kuzubov, so the dude is in danger of losing, it looks like. Let's take a look at the dude. The dude is down a pawn and in real trouble here. The dude probably is going to be eliminated. So dude about to be eliminated from Division 2. And then Dominguez beat Iloyanov. So all right, Division 1 should be starting, I think. Let's go to Division 1.